Speaking at a meeting a few weeks ago now, and got talking to a couple of our people about the impact of poverty on, in fact, on their workmates. And one of our chaps in Birmingham, he was saying that people he works with were saying that they simply can't afford, their wives can't afford to put enough decent food on the table. And we were talking about as to why. He said, well, part of the trouble, of course, is a lot of these people, they can't cook. They really can't. So you can talk about producing, cheap food and cooking for yourselves, but really all they know is processed packet food. And under those circumstances, you simply can't do cheap meals. You've got to pay top supermarket prices. So our chap said to me, well, you like cooking. Why don't you show a few examples of how cheap it is, how simple it is to cook really good food for yourself and for your families. So we've not done this before. BNP TV does politics, not cookery, but we'll see how it goes. So I went to the shop the other day, and I went in fact with £20 because I've done this twice over. We're going to be eating some which I prepared earlier. But here we've got half of what I did. So this is £10 worth. This, I reckon, is enough to do a really good stew for 5, 6 people. Now, let's go through the ingredients. We've got 2 lots of meat from the reduced section. Always look at that if you can. So that's reduced to £1.83, £3.21. Stewing state. British, which is good stuff, British beef. It's not a good quality cut, but it doesn't matter in a stew. It's going to be cooking for a long time. We've also got the essentials. A couple of onions. Parsnips. 2 carrots. Chunk of swede. You can't have too much swede unless you're a goat. And some potatoes. Then those are what you've got to buy for the day. You also need to have a few things, otherwise it'll be bland as hell. You need salt. You need pepper. You need what I feel you need, something a bit spicy like Tabasco sauce. Not essential. Mixed herbs. Essential. Lea Perrins. Really, you need it. And some stock cubes. So we're probably going to use 2 of those. That'll do. So these things, you buy them once and they last for ages. So there's pennies per meal there. A little bit of investment of a few pounds to start with. But if you don't have those, it's going to taste so bland you don't want it. So you really need them. Now, the other thing is, years ago, when I was working down in politics in London, having just left university, there were some times when I was really hard up, like not eating for a couple of days every fortnight. And under those circumstances, when you finally get money, when the paycheck comes through or the dole check comes through or whatever it is, people who've never been that hard up don't understand it. But when you haven't eaten for a couple of days, you've got this money, it's burning a hole in your pocket to get something hot inside you and have a drink. And you go in the best will in the world to a pub for one drink 3 or 4 hours later, because it's the only place where you're warm, it's the place where you've got friends and companionship and so on. 3 or 4 hours later, you spent half the week's money or worse. So to deal with that, there's an extravagance in this cookery operation. There's a bottle of beer. Now, that's for 2 reasons. One, half that beer is going to go in the stew. And the other is that by way of a treat for yourself, you're going to drink half of it as you cook. Now, if I'd had more time, I'd have cooked some mashed potato with this as well to eke it out more. So this is, but there is some spud in here anyway. But there you go. Careful, it is very hot. One last thing, I'll set down a list of the ingredients. Simple recipe, we'll put that up there as well for you. So combination of reading the recipe, following the short program. Hopefully you can give it a go. If you haven't cooked before, go and surprise yourself.